Hey there. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
This time we're looking at AI projects with real-world impact.
Sounds fascinating.
We've been digging through the online AI community,
Hmm.
places like Twitter, Reddit, Discord, where the real action is.
Right, straight from the source. No hype, just what real AI folks are buzzing about.
Exactly. So first up, Tencent.
Okay.
They just dropped this, well, monster of a
Yep.
model.
Monster, huh?
Hunyon Large, 389 billion parameters.
Whoa.
Even bigger than Meta's Llama models, and those were huge.
Size isn't everything, though, right? What's special about this one?
Oh, special art. It uses what they call a mixture of experts, MOE for short.
No, wait, okay. Like a team of specialist AIs
Yeah.
all working together within the model?
Yeah, exactly. One team might be great at like translation, another at image stuff. Super efficient.
Makes sense. So it's big and clever.
And get this, Tencent claims it needs less training data than its rivals, and it performs better.
Less data is a big deal in AI. Makes training faster, cheaper.
Exactly. But there's some side-eye online about how open source it really is.
Ah, right. Model that big probably needs a supercomputer to run it. Not exactly something everyone can tinker with at home.
Good point. It'll be interesting to see how accessible it becomes
Yeah.
and, what impact it has overall. Could this be China's big AI breakout?
Big question mark there.
All right, let's switch gears to something that directly affects developers. OpenRouter. It's a platform for accessing various AI models.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
They just did a big API migration.
Yeah.
Devs are going nuts over it.
What makes OpenRouter so special?
Well, it just makes experimenting with AI easier. You don't have to set up and run all these different models yourself. OpenRouter handles it.
Streamlining things so devs can focus on building their cool stuff.
Exactly. Plus, they squash those pesky 524 errors.
Oh, yeah. Those were a pain.
So, a more stable API means less frustration, more time to actually build.
This is great for anyone keeping up with AI. More reliable access to these powerful tools.
And here's the really cool part. OpenRouter's adding predictive features. Like, it'll know what you need before you even ask based on your past activity.
Wow, that's next level. Like having an AI assistant that finishes your code.
Huh. Yeah. Pretty wild.
It's a glimpse into that seamless future we keep hearing about, where tech anticipates our needs.
Okay, coders, listen up. Aider, the AI coding assistant, just got a massive upgrade with version 0.62.
AI coding assistant.
Yeah. Think of it like a super smart partner who helps you write and debug code.
Okay, got it. What's so special about the upgrade?
It now supports Claude 3.5 Haiku, which is known for being really good at, well, coding.
Interesting. So it can tap into all that knowledge to help you write better code faster.
You got it. But there's some debate online about whether Sonnet might actually be better for coding, even though it's more expensive.
Ah, the classic trade-off. Performance versus cost.
Exactly. It makes you think about the future of coding, What will it be like in a few years? Maybe we'll all be writing complex code in the blink of an eye thanks to our AI sidekicks.
It's coming.
Now, while we're talking about developer tools, LM Studio users are eagerly waiting for an update.
What's LM Studio again?
Oh, right. It's a platform where you can run and experiment with different AI models on your own computer.
Right.
And this update, it's about adding support for something called Llama 3.2 Vision, AI that can see.
Oh, that's interesting. Image understanding AI.
Yeah. It works partially through other tools, like a Llama, but everyone wants full integration within LM Studio.
I see. It's about taking back control, running this powerful image AI without relying on big tech.
Exactly. Imagine the possibilities.
Limitless.
Now, let's move away from just coding for a bit. Something everyone can relate to. Content creation. Like podcasts.
Sure.
Have you ever wished you could turn your notes, instantly into a polished podcast?
That'd be pretty handy.
Someone on the Notebook LM Discord figured it out.
Wait, really?
Notebook LM is like a super-powered notepad from Google with AI built in.
I've heard of that.
They have this conversation feature where you can bounce ideas off your notes, generate new content,
Okay.
and people are even experimenting with adding avatars to make it visual.
Whoa, so you could literally have a conversation with your notes and out pops a podcast complete with video.
Yeah, potentially. Imagine that. Content creation as easy as typing.
That would change everything.
Right. Anyone can make professional quality audio and video just by chatting with their AI.
Welcome back. Still diving deep into these impactful AI projects, let's check out the Nebius AI Discord.
Oh yeah, Nebius research.
Their free AI model, Hermes, has been causing a bit of a stir.
I saw something about Hermes 3 being slow. People were wondering if it was internet issues or the servers being overloaded or something.
Yeah, there were some hiccups. But good news, it's back online. And people were especially excited to see that massive Hermes 405B model available again on Play AI.
That's great. Free access to a model that powerful is huge for folks who can't afford to run those things themselves. Speaking of access and resources, over on the Eleuther AI Discord, there's this whole discussion about the origins of flash attention.
Flash attention.
Yeah, it's a technique that makes AI models faster, especially when dealing with lots of data.
Right. I've heard of that.
And some people are claiming that it was actually being used in big AI labs long before it was released publicly.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, but there's pushback too. Some are saying, it took years of work to get flash attention to where it is now. It wasn't just some overnight thing.
Makes sense. Groundbreaking stuff often takes a lot of behind-the-scenes effort. Years of research and collaboration.
Okay, let's switch gears again. From language models to image generation. The Stability.ai Discord is buzzing as always.
Stable diffusion's still the hot topic.
Oh yes, Stable Diffusion is still king. People are still blown away by what it can do. You literally type in what you want, and it creates a picture of it.
It's amazing how far it's come.
It's not all perfect, though. Some users are having trouble installing it on Windows 11.
Windows 11, always a wild card.
And there are some complaints about SDXL, the bigger version, producing low-quality images sometimes.
Growing pains. Every new tech has them.
True, but the Stable Diffusion community is great. Super active and helpful. You can find tons of guides and tips on their Discord.
A good example of a passionate community driving progress.
Speaking of progress, there's a lot of excitement about these new techniques like outpainting.
Outpainting.
It's where AI expands an image beyond its original borders. Like, you take a picture, and the AI imagines what's outside the frame and creates this bigger, more expansive scene.
Wow, that's cool. Opens up so many creative possibilities.
Right. And there are even tools that make it super easy to use. Now let's talk performance. Claude 3.5 Haiku.
Anthropic's latest model.
Right. Over on the OpenRouter Discord, some developers are saying it's amazing, especially for coding.
I've heard good things about Haiku.
But then you go to the News Research AI Discord, and the sentiment is completely different. People calling it overpriced, underwhelming.
So mixed reviews.
Yeah, some even think it feels smaller, less capable than advertised.
Which just goes to show, right? AI performance depends so much on what you're using it for, your specific needs. What works for one person might not work for another.
Makes sense. The Aider Discord is having similar debates about Sonnet versus Haiku for coding. Sonnet seems to be winning on performance, but it costs more. That age-old question, performance or price.
Tough choice sometimes. And it's a trade-off we'll probably see more of as these AI tools become more advanced and specialized.
Speaking of specialized, let's jump into the world of AI hardware and optimization. Over on the GPU Modric Discord, there's a lot of discussion about FP8 quantization.
FP8 quantization, what's that?
It's basically a way to make AI models run faster and more efficiently on GPUs. Those powerful processors that handle most of AI's heavy lifting.
Right. Those things are beasts.
But AI models can be super complex with millions, billions of parameters. Running them takes a ton of processing power.
And processing power means big electricity bills, right?
Yeah. FP8 quantization is like a compression algorithm. It shrinks the model without sacrificing too much accuracy, so you can run it on less powerful hardware.
Interesting. So potentially you could run these state-of-the-art AI models on a laptop, even a smartphone.
Exactly. It's all about making AI more accessible.
Love it. And speaking of accessibility, did you hear about Nebius? They just made a huge announcement.
No, it happened.
They're offering NVIDIA H100 GPUs for $1.50 an hour.
Whoa, those are like the top-of-the-line GPUs.
Exactly, and now they're within reach for smaller research teams, startups, anyone who couldn't afford them before.
That's a game changer for AI development. More people will be able to experiment with the latest and greatest hardware.
It's exciting to see, and it's not just about raw power either. The Liger kernel, which is all about optimizing AI training, just had a big update too.
Oh yeah, Liger kernel. I've heard good things. What's new in this update?
Version 0.4.0 now has full support for AMD GPUs, plus a nice speed boost overall.
That's fantastic for developers using AMD hardware. Makes Liger kernel even more attractive.
It's another example of the AI community pushing boundaries, constantly innovating, both in software and hardware. Back for the final stretch of our AI deep dive, we've seen some incredible stuff.
So much cool stuff. But wait, There's more.
Oh yeah, we're not done yet. Let's head over to the Lamy Next Discord. Things are heating up over there.
Lamy index. What's happening there?
Developers are building some really cool applications using this thing called RAG. It stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation.
A rag. Okay. Sounds a bit technical. What's that all about?
It's actually pretty simple. Imagine you have a big language model like ChatGPT, super smart,
Yeah.
right? But it doesn't have access to your personal files, documents, or databases.
So it's like brilliant but clueless about my stuff.
Yeah, kinda. Our RAG solves that problem.
Yeah.
It lets these models tap into external knowledge, makes them even more powerful.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. What are people building with R and then?
All sorts of things. One developer posted a tutorial on building an automated resume insights agent.
An AI resume reader.
Exactly.
Okay.
Uses RAG to analyze resumes, pull out key info, even give insights to recruiters. Imagine how much time that could save.
Wow, that's incredible. It sounds like RA could change how we deal with information entirely.
Absolutely. Oh, and there's also a lot of buzz about llama parse.
Llama Parse, what's that?
Well, have you ever struggled with a messy Excel spreadsheet?
Who hasn't? Spreadsheets are the bane of my existence.
Right. Llama parse uses AI to clean them up, parses and indexes them, makes it super easy to find what you need, like an AI assistant for your data.
Sign me up. Okay, let's jump over to the Latent Space Discord. Saw some talk about Tencent's Hunyuan large model there.
The big one, yeah. There's debate about whether it's truly open source, though. I mean, it might be publicly available, but it's so massive.
Right, you'd probably need a supercomputer to run it.
Exactly. Not very open source if most people can't use it. It raises questions about what open source really means in the age of these giant models.
Good point. And hey, while we're talking big tech, there's a rumor flying around Latent Space that OpenAI might have bought chat.com.
Oh, wow, really? If that's true, it could be huge for them. That domain name alone gives them a massive advantage in the AI chatbot world.
Definitely a power move.
Yeah.
Speaking of power moves, have you heard about Scale AI's Defense Llama?
I have. It's a fascinating project. They're working with Meta and defense experts to build an LLM specifically for U.S. national security. Shows how seriously people are taking AI's potential in the military.
It's a reminder that AI is impacting all sorts of industries, even those with, really high stakes. Let's hop over to the Interconnects Discord. Anything interesting happening there?
Always. Lots of chatter about Google's AI agent, Jarvis.
Jarvis, like Iron Man's AI.
That's the one. Apparently some details leaked and everyone's going crazy on social media.
So what is Jarvis?
From what I've gathered, it's a super advanced computer agent, can interact with the digital world in all sorts of complex ways.
Give me an example.
Think about browsing websites, scheduling appointments, managing emails, controlling your smart home devices, all through natural language, like talking to a real assistant.
That's mind-blowing. AI is going to completely change how we live.
No doubt. Oh, and on a more technical note, there's discussion about tracking ChatGPT's performance over time.
Because it keeps changing.
Exactly. It's constantly learning, being updated. So it's important to know how it's evolving, what it's getting better at. That means coming up with ways to measure its capabilities accurately.
Makes sense. It's like you got to keep track of your student to make sure they're learning and improving.
So after all these deep dives into models, agents, tools, hardware, what's the main takeaway for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that AI is becoming more powerful, more accessible, and more intertwined with our lives than ever before. Whether you're a developer, a researcher, or just someone curious about the future, there's no better time to explore the world of AI. It's a world of possibilities. Challenges too, of course. But the potential is enormous. And who knows, maybe you, our listener, will be the one making waves in our next deep dive. So stay curious, keep exploring, and we'll see you next time.